crafters, stampers. Sorry, I have a frog in my throat. There have been some new products that are now in my Stampin' Up store. And I thought that I would show you a few of the sets that I have fallen in love with. In fact, the one that I'm going to show you today has 3 parts. So this will be part 1, and then I will do a video on part 2, and then another video on part 3. And if you like these cards and you would like to get them free for an order of $50 in my store, you can get set A, B, or C. You'll just get to pick which one you like. So this is the new catalog that went into effect last week, and it'll be good through till April, when we will be in Long Beach for the new Stampin' Up convention that's coming up in March, and we will get to see the brand new annual catalog then. And Stampin' Up also puts out a lot of new product every couple months to keep everybody excited. And so what I am using today is from the January online exclusives. These took effect the same time that this new mini catalog took effect. And this is called, it's not a very good picture, but I'll show you the real product in a second. This is called Lovely Blossom Suite, and all of this comes in the suite for $89.50, and I think that's a great bargain. This 3D embossing folder is gorgeous, and I didn't actually use it on this first set of cards, but I did use it in the next series. And then these dies have some really cool focal points, and we're going to use the stamps and some of these label dies. I love the jewels, and I've ordered several sets of those. The ribbon is very pretty. We're going to use that on a card, not today, but another day. And then we're also going to use, I'm always looking for the right label or the right greeting. And on one of the cards, we're going to use this nesting set of dies from the Lovely and Beautiful Sweet collection. Now this is a mega collection and comes with 2 stamp sets, 2 sets of dies, this gold ephemera, which is absolutely stunning on a card that I saw this weekend, and I will be showing you how to make that. It'll make a great anniversary or wedding card. The jewels I wasn't too sure about, but man, in person they are absolutely beautiful. And this gold and beige ribbon that comes with it. So that's a mega. We're just going to use, though, the nested dies out of that set. And then one more that I pulled in that I wanted to show you, my other bookmark, is this new set, which is wonderful if you need to send a sympathy card or just to let someone know that you're thinking of them and that you're praying for them. And it's called Prayers and Promises, and it is a $1 million set designed by Carol Nordquist. And these are beautiful. So we're going to use this stamp set also. And let's get started. If you need a catalog, let me know. I have mailed out the ones for people who have ordered with me in the last year. And all of my videos will have a project sheet that you can find over on my blog at franklystamping.com. And there's my QR code to shop if you want to shop with me, or you can find the link on my website. And my project sheets, they have pictures of the cards, and I try really hard on my pictures, but I'm sure they're not great, but you can identify the card, so that's what's important. And then all of the products. Now the products listed on this part 1 are all of the stamps and dies, paper, everything you'll need for all 3 videos, for all part 3 parts. And it'll show a picture of the card, measurements, and you know which cardstock I use, etc., and the instructions on putting that together. And there's the second card, and there's the third card, and then here is the QR code for my YouTube video. So if you found the project sheet from my blog, you can also go to there should be a link in my blog actually to go to the YouTube video, or you can find it at YouTube, Frankly Stamping. Search for Frankly Stamping. And if you are interested in joining my team, I would love to have you. This is the designer paper that we're using, and I'm going to show you how to make a one-sheet wonder out of, we're just using this piece of designer paper to make our 8 cards. I did use a scrap that I cut off of something on one of these cards. I think it was this piece. I did use a scrap of that just for the greeting, but you don't have to. You could just use the Secret C. So we'll cut these apart. I'll show you, but let me show you the paper first. The back, you get 3 sheets of each in this packet. So there's 12 sheets, and you get 3 sheets of each design. So this is the first design, and it has all of these little cut aparts. And I thought, oh man, those look like instant cards. Easy, simple, anybody could make these. Backside is blue cloud cover ticking, like you would see on a pillow, old-fashioned pillow cases. And then there's our third sheet. Let me grab that out of the way. And then here is the next sheet. And I love that. It's so pretty with the old olive and the cloud cover. And that Secret C is the color of the flower insides. And then there's 3 sheets of this, and the back side looks like this. And this little star design, or whatever you want to call that, we will see in a die that I'm going to show you here shortly. We're not using it on our card, but you very well could. This is crumb cake flowers, and this is the navy blue or Secret C and white. And like I said, I just used a little scrap of this on one of my greetings, but you would not have to. You could just use the cardstock. And then the last design is this petal pink and navy. I keep saying navy. It's not navy. It's Secret C, not Night of Navy. I did accidentally put the wrong card base on one of my cards, and I'll show you. You can tell the difference when you see them together, which one is which. And this is not Night of Navy. It's Secret C. And then the back side of this is a really pretty linen old olive. And I did use that on a little scrap of that for one of my greetings too. And you very well could just use the cardstock. So here's the stamp sets that we're using. Here's the prayers and promises. This is the new packaging. And I have just added a little square in here to tell me that this is from the January to April 2026 catalog. And it's on sale there for $20. And then it comes with this little, the little brochure. And then that's where you store your stamps in the middle of this. And so I'm going to leave these out, since we're going to be using one of them for our card, and I'll set the little envelope aside. We're going to use Beautifully Celebrated dies. We're going to use the smallest, and then I'm going to show you an alternative using the smallest and the next size with some labeled or layered cardstock, and that's what they look like. And these are gorgeous, used on the corners of your card. So all kinds of options with this. And then Lovely Arrangements is the stamp set and die set that I fell in love with. I love these flowers, and I'm really not even sure what they are. They remind me of the peonies that grew in my yard because they were just a flat cup-shaped flower. They only had like one layer of petals, and some of the peonies have, you know, it's just full of little petals. But mine didn't, and mine looked a lot like that, but I don't think that's what that is. I don't think it's supposed to be a peony, but I think it could be whatever you wanted it to be. And some greetings, and we're going to use just a note, and we're going to use happy birthday out of this. We're going to use sending smiles. And these are the dies that I used. I used these label dies. We used the I think that's all we used on this. On another card I've got coming up, I did use this big piece and leaves, but that's on another day. So let's set this aside for now. Well, let me grab the stamp sets out of here. I've already done most of my die cutting just to move this along since I have 3 videos to do. Okay, card number 1. We're going to make with our old olive. Well, let me show you how to cut these apart first. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I just took my trimmer, and I hope I'm in the screen here. And I'm just going to line, well, we're going to cut this way first. We're going to cut this way first. So I'm going to line that line up with my trimmer trough there, and same at the bottom. Now if you don't get it exactly right, it's fine, because we can trim a little off of here. I would rather it be a little like this way instead of the other way, because these are shorter, these are smaller. But I'm just going to line it up with that little line right here on my trimmer, and we're going to cut this. Okay, this is One Sheet Wonder Part 1. Okay, this we're cutting now. We're going to line it back up with that little line, that trough. And this is One Sheet Wonder Part 2. And the last squares I used on cards with, this is part 3, and we're going to cut these in half. I did not use this square on this side. I flipped it over and used the cloud cover, and it made a gorgeous card. So that is part 3, and I'm not going to cut those together or apart, and I'm not going to cut these apart right now. I'm going to cut just these apart. Not sure how I got my washi tape on here. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to need it anyway. So I'm going to trim this. Card number 2. This is card number 1. And this was card number 3. Now, I gave you the measurements on our, on the project sheet, how small to cut these, and save the strips, because you can use these to put either under your greetings, your sentiments, or just to decorate the inside of your card. Now, I've already cut these down. So the first card we're making is this old olive, Happy Birthday. And you're going to use a piece of cardstock that is 8.5 by 5.5, and you're going to score it at 4 1/4. So let's get our bone folder. This gives you a nice, crisp fold. Now, I've noticed sometimes when I use my bone folder, I get a little shiny spot. So I just flip it over like that, and I use the other side. And when you score, you end up with this bump that sticks up on this side. It kind of goes in. You want the bump to the inside. Breaks down the fibers and the paper. Okay, so then we're going to layer this. So this layer is 4 by 5¼ We just took 1/4 of an inch off of the top and 1/4 of an inch, and my glue is gobbed up. Let's use another one. I had all these sitting down here, and they were, and if I need to get glue into my corner, I just drag it to the corner. I don't go too close to the edge, and that way I can keep it from seeping out. Okay, we're just going to center this on our card base. And then we're going to attach, let's see, did I have any? Nope, this doesn't have any ribbons, so we don't have to worry about adding ribbon. So we're going to attach this. I mean, these cards go together so fast. And I have cut this down to 3 3/4 by 5. So it's just 1/4 off on all sides. Okay. And then we have used Secret C and the lovely arrangement set to stamp Happy Birthday. Grab my, try to get this on here straight without sticking my head in the camera. And I don't know why, but my phone always seems to drip down when I'm doing a video. Okay, now we're going to use Secret C, which, where did I put it? Here it is. Secret C for our greeting. It looks a little crooked. Usually I line it up with one of the lines on here, but it's kind of hard to look over the top of it when I don't want to stick my head in the camera. It looks straight. And then we're going to take, and if you can't stamp on the little piece, just stamp this on a piece of scrap paper and then die cut. If you don't have a die cutting machine, no problem. All you need to do is stamp your greeting. Let me get over the top of this so I can see. A little bit crooked, but I have one that I stamped the other day when I could get my head, you know, over the top. Okay, put that aside. Just stamp it on a piece of scrap paper and then cut it with your scissors or your trimmer. No big deal. And you can cut the ends at an angle, matching angle. And to do that, I will cut one angle and take that little piece that I cut off and put it on the other side, and then you can cut them exactly the same angle. Now we're going to glue this greeting onto our little, this is just a little piece, just a little scrap out of the designer paper. Maybe I should put my glasses on. Maybe that would make a difference. And see the glue, if I use glue, it gives me just a little bit of time to move this around to center that. Okay, and then we're going to use some dimensionals, and we're going to pop this up. I think we can just use 3. And you can put this wherever you wish. If you would rather have it in the center of the flowers, you could put it up here. if you like it down here, I think let's switch this one up. Let's put this one up here. And then our jewels, we're going to use these jewels. These are the Moody Palette Glossy Dots. And I usually like to use, oh, I forgot, I always cut this on the side so I can pull it out, but I thought this was a new pack. I didn't look very close. Let's see, where did I do with my take your pick tool? Now the putty end can be used to push these off, and I'm going to use the Secret C, of course. I want one in the little bend of that flower, and I want one up here, and then a big one. I'm going to use one of the big ones down there. Usually I put jewels on in threes. An odd number is always pleasing. And so there's the front of our card. Now let's get our extra sheet of white for the inside. And on this one, did I stamp the inside? Sending Smiles. So let's get our green olive, or I always call it olive green, it's old olive. And we'll stamp Sending Smiles, which it looks like I did not get completely clean. So let me stick this on here and clean it real fast with my chamois. And then I need to dry it. So I always wear black pants, and I can just dry it by patting it on my pants. Okay. When you first open your photopolymer stamps, take a minute to, I've got a piece of hair, take a minute to clean them. And I just take mine, the stamp that I want to use. Now some people do theirs all at one time. I think that's straight. Put it on your block and then rub it vigorously on your cleaning mat. And it gets there's a little bit of residue in manufacturing, I'm guessing, so that the rubber or the photopolymer will release from its mold. And that puts a little bit of an oily residue on there, which doesn't want to take your ink. It makes it want to beat up. And we'll just put a little leaf down in the corner. And we could have used one of the flowers from the stamp set, which I did on several others. We could have added that, but I just wanted the leaf on this one. And then we'll put it in back on our stamp set so it doesn't get lost. And Sending Smiles, let's stick it on there too. I don't like the rattling with this cover sheet, but oh well. Okay, so let's adhere this to the center. Close my ink pad so I don't stick my hands in it. When you're cutting out labels from your dies, I usually can cut, especially when you're using this white thin, the thinner basic white, not the thick. I cut two, and that way I have extras, and I just keep a small envelope with extra die pieces in it, and then when I need one, and sometimes I'll go ahead and stamp a couple, like, you know, just a note, because I can use that on anything. Okay, that's card number one. Simple, but I think it's really cute. You could add a bow if you wanted. I just didn't think it needed it, so let's set that one aside. Here's our first one. Here's our second one, the one we made today. Which one do you like? The one with we made today, or the one that the first one that I showed you? Okay, this is card number 2. And I love Petal Pink I love Petal Pink with Night of Navy, and I also love it with the Secret Sea, which is one of the 5 in colors. Every 2 years, Stampin' Up! Brings 5 new colors in, and then the next year it stays for 2 years. So it's always on each year it gets 5 new colors. So you have 10 new colors at the same time, and then each year they retire one and bring back a new one. Okay, now this is the one I was telling you about with the nested dies. We could easily have, instead of just putting it on the ribbon, we could have layered it first. I really would have liked the nesting to be a little smaller, so I did not go with this option, but I wanted to show it to you. You could do it like that, or you could use the Secret Sea and use the Secret Sea. But I liked it with just the label, and that's what I chose to use. But I wanted to show you an alternative. Okay. So when I am going to use ribbon, let's set our little label aside. When I want to put ribbon around some designer paper, sometimes I just feel like it's a little, it's a little flimsy. It's not quite as sturdy as if you put a piece of basic white behind it. And this could be a scrap. I mean, it could be something that you had stamped on and you didn't like and you redid, oh, I can't use that. I mean, the paper has 2 sides. So let's put our designer paper on this. And this is just to support it. That's all this is. The white is serving no other purpose except supporting the ribbon and the dimensionals the ribbon. I'm not using dimensionals. I don't think I used dimensionals on that. And I don't want any of the white to show. So let me pick this up and slide. See, I can slide it into place by using the glue. Okay, now I'm going to put my ribbon on, and I'm going to you could either use tear and tape, or you can use our seal, whichever one you prefer. You want something strong because you want it to hold the ribbon in place. So I want this to go around here, kind of resembling that you have a bouquet with a bow around, a bow around the base of the bouquet is kind of what that resembles. And so I'm only going to need about this much. So let me cut that off. Oh, I've got my pencil stuck in my scissors here. Measure that again. I'm just going to cut that piece off. Now I'm going to cut another piece off around, 1.5 inches to 2 inches, because we're just going to fold it in half is all we're going to do, like that. And we're going to angle cut it. And sometimes I cut just a little longer piece so I have room to maneuver my angles, get my angles on there. Okay, so I'm going to let me position this. And sometimes some people put a glue dot like right here where they want the center to be, just to make sure they get it glued in the right spot on the back. But I'm just going to flip it like that. I'm going to put a piece of, well, I didn't get that in the right spot. And then I'm going to put some over here. Now you want that to stay taut, because when we put our glue on, and we're going to go ahead and put that on. Did I put that on dimensionals? I think I did. So let's go ahead and do that. And that will actually help with your ribbon because you're going to also anchor it like with your dimensionals. That kind of helps. And I don't like to use too many dimensionals, but I do like to support the center. And since we have ribbon, I'm going to put that one there. The middle, whoops. These stick. I cannot usually get them off. That's why I don't usually push down until I know, where I really want them. Because sometimes if you will spin the piece that you're trying to take off, like if you wanted to take that off and for whatever reason, you can kind of spin that. Well, these are on a label, but come off. And I don't know where my other take your pick tool was. It was here while I was cleaning up and getting ready to video, but I don't know where it went now, because that's usually what I use to take my little backing pieces off with. And I moved it because it kept rolling, and I don't know where to put it. Okay, I think I have all the stickies off. It should be shiny. It's different shiny than with the backing on it. Okay, now we're going to center this. Make sure I have this. You can see I accidentally scored this in the wrong place, but it's not going to show. It isn't going to matter. So we're just going to cover it up. Okay. That's for our center. Let's move it out of the way. Okay, now let's stamp our greeting so we can finish that part. And we're going to use Secret C. And we're going to use that Prayers and Promises set. Grab a block. I think I could have used a smaller block, but... And I think I will stamp both the inside and this at the same time, and then all our stamping will be done. And kind of line that up with my lines on my glass mat, which is available in our store. Let's see, which one did I use here? So sorry for your loss. I can't read backwards. Okay, we need So Sorry for Your Loss for that one. And then we need... As you grieve, may your memories comfort you, your faith strengthen you, and may hope heal your heart. Okay, so we'll set this here for a second. And I think I can use a smaller block for this one. Oops, sorry, I hit the camera with my head. Okay, the only thing I find difficult is sometimes I'm going to pull it up here, hopefully not out of your view. I'm going to try to line this up on the line. Sometimes when they have the scripty and the straight font, it's kind of hard to get those on your block straight. Okay. Straight down, do not rock your stamp. See, I have extra ink, but it's not going to transfer because I did not rock it. So let me clean that really fast. And if you get ink like in here, just kind of take your chamois, and I always cut mine into a small piece so I can maneuver. And then when I have in-person classes, each person has their own chamois that they can clean. Now let's put this back on our stamp set. Okay, and then we're going to stamp our inside with, which side is up? I need the bigger block for this one. I've stamped it before, so it stains. I don't know why blues stain, but they do. And they stain with a pink. So I can kind of see a little better because it's, okay. Line that up so it's square. Put that about here. And I just give it a couple seconds for my ink to transfer. Beautiful. And we'll take this off and put it immediately back with our stamp set. Now we can stamp a flower on here. We could use pink or we could use Secret Sea. Let's put a little petal pink on here. Where's my petal pink stamp set? And again, we're going to grab one of those flowers from our original set, the blossoms. And I really like that little small one, so I think I will use that one. It's just faint. The pink is so pretty. It is, you know, faint, and it just kind of almost looks like a watermark. Okay, and put that stamp back over here. Close our ink pad so I don't stick my finger in there. Okay, let's put the inside in first. This is a piece that is 4 by 5 1/4. We just took a quarter off, a quarter of a sheet of cardstock. Well, a piece of paper, okay, it's 8.5 by 11. Well, a quarter of that would be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And if we take a quarter off, we're going to end up with 4. 4 1/4 minus a quarter would be 4. And then we're going to take a quarter off of the 5 1/2, which just brings it up, you know, a little bit so we get a border. Now, if you want more border, you just take another quarter off, or you do 8ths, or you can even do 16ths. And I know people don't like using 8ths and 16ths, but I mean, they're very clearly marked on your trimmer. Okay, now we're going to put this here, and we're going to fold our ribbon, and I want it to splay open a little bit like that. So I'm going to grab a glue dot, and I just put a little ribbon around my glue dots so they're not going wild. And I'm going to stick that in the middle of this. And I'm going to, I want that to stick out like that. And then I'm going to take another glue dot, and I'm going to put on the bottom side. And I'm going to take another glue dot, and I'm going to put on the top side. Okay. Now, I want this to stick up under my label like this, but I want to trim these ends first. So let me get my snips. That's why I said make sure, like the first piece I cut, I think I cut a little short, so I recut it. But I just want to have enough that I can pull these apart like this. And then I'm going to attach that where I want it sticking out. And then I'm going to center that on my ribbon with my dimensionals. And I think I actually glued that one on, but I'm going to pop this one up. And I'm going to do this. And this will also help hold our ribbon in place. You could stick a it's probably enough, but I'll put one right here. You probably could put a glue dot under the ribbon here if you wanted to hold, you know, hold it also. But I did not. And I'm just going to kind of center that over the ribbon. I'm using these little bump outs to center. Okay. Now we're going to take some more of our glossy dots, and we're going to use white this time. I think I want a small one here. And a large one. Down there. Then I need one more small one. Now I could have also put the navy, or the secret sea. Why do I keep calling this navy? Secret sea on this one. But I just thought it's got enough secret sea with the ribbon and the leaves and the ink. So I thought, well, we'll just use the white on this one. Okay, so there's card number 2, and we did not do this one different than we did the first one, except to pop up the greeting. So there's card number 2. And now card number 3. This is the one that I said that I used a piece of the designer paper. The other one I used a piece of the old olive designer paper, just a little strip, but could use the, you know, cardstock instead. Now I've cut these layers down, and this one we don't have to cut a layer because we can just stamp on the inside if we want to. And I think I will stamp first, and I did go ahead and stamp the happy birthday, like I said, so that I could see over where I was stamping. So we'll set that aside. That's my little layer that that I'm going to use to pop it up. And then this I did at an 1/8. You see the difference? This one's an 1/8. This is a 1/4. So I just want a narrow little border on this one. So I did an 1/8 on this one. So let's, oh, I think I said I was going to stamp first, but we'll do this. Do you do that? Do you change your mind in the middle of the program? I hope you all will take a minute to give me a like, a thumbs up. Share this with your friends if you like this set. Put an order in, spend $50, and you can get one of these kits free. And you can use your own stamp sets, but I will send you all of the pieces to make it. You just need to stamp your own greetings, because I can't stamp the greetings and send that to you. It's against our policy. Okay. And then let's stamp the inside, because I need to lay it open. So now again, I just used the Sending Smiles, and then I did stamp the flower in the Secret Sea. What did I do with the stamp pad? Well, oh, here it is. It just amazes me how fast you can lose things on your desk when you're in the active, process of using them. Okay, we need sending smiles. I had marked my glass mat, so I was sure to keep the card in view. I know my very first video on YouTube, I didn't have all of the stuff in view. Now, if you were sending this to somebody like a, you know, a family member or your best friend or spouse, I mean, we could use love you. You are so lovely. Hello, friend. Always here for you. So we could have switched it up, but I'm going to use, I think the sending smiles goes great with our birthday front. Okay, give that ink just a second to set. Scrub this off really fast. And then let's grab our flower. And like I said, well, this is my favorite flower, but let's use the big one this time. A piece of hair on there. Still have a piece of hair on there. I don't know where the hair came from because I don't have black hair. Okay. Now, if we wanted it to be faint, we could stamp it off. I want the biggest petal, I think, at the bottom. Love how sharp that looks. That is so pretty. Okay. And let's put that inside of, well, we already have it. We don't have to glue anything. It's already inside. We could decorate also, you know, if we had strips, like say another piece of this. See, I ended up with a strip because I have another card that I had already put together, and so I had this strip. But you could put, you know, you could decorate with a strip of this across the top, across the bottom, even on the side. I've seen somebody put it down the side. So you could decorate, you know, the inside with your designer paper. Now, let's go back to our decoration. Now, we're not wrapping the ribbon, so we didn't have to put the ribbon underneath our panel. We're just going to glue, and I want to cut this, and I bet I put my punch away. No, I didn't. I have this hexagon punch with the point at the top, and it leaves like this little rounded edge. You could cut this yourself. You just cut a V, but I really liked the way this rounded end looked. See, it just gives it a rounded edge there instead of the pointy. And I could have instead used the die from this set, but I just really wanted it to be simple. And let's glue our greeting sentiment on our little piece of designer paper in the center. Need to move that over just a tad bit. Okay, now we're going to put that on dimensionals. I'm going to grab my tiny dimensionals for this one. I don't think we need to go haywire, but let's put, oops, somehow I got the backing on that one. Okay, we have 3 and an extra little piece of the backing. Okay, now we're going to get our glue dots out because we're going to do the same thing again with our ribbon. And we're just going to cut off a piece about like that. And I need my glue dots. I'm going to put a glue dot right here. Oops, it didn't come off. Glue dot. I want to put a glue dot on the end of my greeting there, on the H end, happy birthday end, the happy end, I mean. And then we're going to put a glue dot in the middle of this. Good thing's sticking to me. Okay, and I'm going to splay that again, a little bit open like that. I'm going to put a glue dot on the bottom. Okay. Now I'm going to stick this like this. And then I'm going to trim the ends before I put it in on my card. Okay. And again, you can put this up here. I chose up here because it looked like this, like had a little opening there. You could put it at the bottom, but I like it right here on this center opening. Okay, and then let's grab our jewels again. And I think we're going to go with the white again because we're going to put it on the Secret C. Little scissor charm is banging on the glass. And this one up here. And usually kind of a triangle shape is what they recommend too. And you can use as many as you want, but I usually try to do 3 at least. So there's card number 3, card number 2, and card number 1. Okay, I want to see in the comments which card is your favorite. The one with the old olive, the one with the petal pink, or the one with the white and the Secret C. So which one is your favorite? Please put that in the comments, and thank you for joining me. And watch for the project sheet to be loaded onto my blog. And I will be getting ready to do part 2 and part 3. I don't know if it'll be today, but soon. Thank you very much. Have a great day.